One of the most interesting stories to come out of Daytona this year, and one of the most interesting stories to come off the tour last season, is NASCAR's new Montreal connection. George Gillett, the guy who bought into Ray Evernham's Dodge team, runs out of Statesville, and the Gillett family, they're solid people. They've been around. They seem to know what's going on in the world. They should be a welcome addition to the sport. And Patrick Carpentier, the driver, 36, who knows Jacques Villeneuve. In fact, Jacques Villeneuve's driving coach was also Patrick Carpentier's driving coach, and he says Patrick is every bit as good as Jacques Villeneuve, just didn't get the right brakes. Villeneuve, of course, won the World Championship in 1997 and now is driving for Bill Davis, and he could win the Daytona 500 pole. He's good, he's quiet, so he's got baggy suits. That's just the way he likes to carry himself around. Patrick Carpentier, on the other hand, is an interesting story. The last 2 years he's done nothing. Now he's got a ride with Ray Evernham. Took over the ride Scott Riggs had last year. He was pretty amazed at what he saw in the draft. He's a good Indy-car guy. Sort of got bummed out on that series a couple of years ago. Gave it up, ran the 24 hours once, and then went back to his farm. Now he struck it rich. Now he's got a chance to show what he can really do. Patrick Carpentier. I talked to Dave Carpentier, the nuclear engineer who now works for DEI, is one of the head engineers over there. They spell their name virtually exactly the same way, and when I talked to Dave, who I've known for years, he said they both came from the same family tree, just one side of the Atlantic and the other side of the Atlantic. Carpentier, Charpentier. Patrick Carpentier is going to have a lot of fun in the Daytona 500. He had a lot of fun in the Daytona 500 draft. Let's hear what he has to say about testing at Daytona and what he saw in the draft and what he thinks for 2008.
It's fun, you know. It's kind of impressive in a way because you know, they had Tony Stewart and all the guys and Casey, and it was fun. I mean, down at Daytona 2 years ago, I was working on a farm and had no ride, and now I'm down Daytona waving at Tony Stewart, going down pit lane. So for me, it's been great, but at the same time, I want to race these guys like we did in Montreal, and it'll take some time, but that's what I want to do. But I mean, I just love to be part of it, and I really enjoy driving the car. So for me, it's a plus, and I'd say it's one of the best opportunities I've ever had in my career. So I'm looking forward to it.
What were you doing on the farm?
Yeah, I know, digging holes and filling them back up. That's basically what I was doing. I was just playing around. I raced till 2005, and I decided that was it for me with the Indy-cars, and bought a farm up north and just digging holes, fixing it up, and we had a sugar shack up the back, and I was fixing that up and playing around with that, and we sold it back, but that's what I was doing. And I didn't race that year, I just did the 24 hours of Daytona, and came back to racing last year, Grand Am, and we did Montreal with the Busch cars, and it turned out really well. And if you would have told me I would have ended up here today, I wouldn't have believed it at all, but it's an amazing dream.
Farm in Canada?
Yep, up in Canada. We sold
Canada.
it, yeah. We live in Vegas, but we're down there for the summer.
So give us an idea of what you think you can do this year. I mean,
for me, I want to run with the pack. I want to run with the guys. I was really fortunate because the team, they got me testing every week since the end of last season. I mean, when we did Phoenix and Homestead, that car was so big, and I was struggling. I kept hitting the wall in Phoenix. I must have hit it like 10 times exiting corner 2, and Kenny Schrader said, man, it's a good thing to move that wall back 10 feet. And I said, yeah, I guess it is, but just got used to the car. The car is a lot smaller. I feel so much more comfortable with it. And just to run with the guys, if at some of the races I can run up front, then I'd be really happy. But to put that car in top 35,
we talked to Daytona. You talked to Daytona about how the bumpiness of the racetrack or the bumpiness of these cars was really amazing.
Yeah, I was amazed. Yeah, I'm not used to seeing these cars go up and down like that. We did Phoenix last year in Homestead. It was not too bad. And Daytona, you go down turn 1 and 2, and I couldn't believe we're going to do 500 miles like that. But you go down there, and I was 4th in line, and you could see the first car come up, then second car, third car, and at the same time to go sideways, and that's going to be hard in the race, and it's going to be warmer. It was pretty cold when we were there, so we had good grip. But I couldn't believe it. I was like, man, 500 miles like that's going to be a long race.
And that's today's Daytona 500 wrap-up. Mike Mulhern for the Winston-Salem Journal, journalnow.com.